You know what's going on? We're back again. WrestlePurists Worldwide, the usual crew here to talk about, a bit of everything. Ring of Honor, WWE, AEW, bit of Japan. We're out here. That's what we do. Ibu, the what would we call Ibu? WrestlePurists, huh?
I don't know, man. Depends who you ask. What would be my guess?
The villain,
It would be a great dance partner, personally, but it's just
the villain, the protagonist.
we're great dance partners in my view, but I know that other people disagree on that. Is what
He's a tweener, man. He's a tweener.
Our Discord really dislikes me. It's something to see. It's like, Jesus Christ. I don't know what I'd compare it to, where it's like a guy in like a platform is, pretty high up, and like the fan base is like, fuck that guy. Like, I don't know who else has that dynamic.
No, like on Fightful, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, man, I'm just a guy who likes wrestling, and I like being on the Monday Worldwide show because we can just talk about wrestling. So I'm happy to be here with everybody. I watched some All Japan this weekend, and the more I watch All Japan, I guess I'm slowly starting to see the light that Parker has been trying to shine on this promotion for about 2 years. So yeah, it's been fun. Watched a lot of wrestling, watched some movies, read a little bit too. So I'm excited to talk about whatever we're talking about today. I don't even know what the topics are.
You don't read, bro.
I do. I swear I read.
No, you don't.
I read. Dude, do I not come off as a man?
You're a man that reads. How you doing?
I don't read. Don't try to contain your mind. I try to expand my mind. So I listen to podcasts. Fuck, man. I did a lot of watching wrestling too. I did a whole half weeks of watching of wrestling in like a 5-hour span last night. And then I did not know what to do. And then I was writing everything down in a journal. Then halfway through, I was writing down all my notes of these matches. Then I was like, you know what? Maybe halfway through these matches, like maybe I should just do like a whole thing every week where I write about all my favorite matches that I watched. I instantly regret it, man. It's been a pain in the ass. I was up to 3 o'clock in the morning last night writing just for last week to make up for everything I didn't do. So now I'm doing all the stuff for this week that I've been doing. I've been sitting in my chair since 10 o'clock this morning, haven't gotten up, listening to Kyrie talk and writing, watching wrestling matches. Man.
Monty, I wanted to point this out last week, right? You know how we have our own WrestlePurists lore, and the chat has their own ongoing storylines and stuff, and feuds and whatnot with the various characters. One of the things we never mentioned is that there is an ongoing like slice of life subplot with Manny on these shows. Like, it's like we don't just talk about wrestling; we get an update on like what the fuck Manny's doing. And is it a coherent week to week story? Not particularly, outside of the ongoing overarching thread of his masks. But it's always fascinating every individual episode to just see what Manny's up to. You never know what it's going to be.
That's what he does, bro.
Yeah, I do want to say I watched the match last night. It's from the Crash. It happened earlier this week, and like I had if you guys don't know Oracle, he's like a guy on the Late Night Grin. He's like a character, and
certainly is.
I had one of his moments yesterday watching a Clash match. They were doing a hair versus hair match in a cage, which sounds awesome. And then you watch it, and it's a hardcore match in a cage. They don't use the cage at all. It's like a 15-minute match, and I'm watching. And I'm just like, guys, what the hell?
Getting heated.
Yeah, and nobody's like selling the injuries. They're stabbing each other in the head with light tubes and spikes, putting through each other's glass, and nobody's selling it. Maybe they're grabbing their arm every few seconds, and then So anyways, the finish is he gets the guy on a table with glass and light tubes. The guy climbs up to the top of the cage. He can get out. He looks, dives, maybe like 5-10 feet, grabs his stomach for a second, pops back up and climbs the cage like nothing happened. And then runs through the cage again and starts cheering like that. And then he remembers and he grabs his arm. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck did I watch? I can't believe I spent 15 minutes of this.
Real
I have no
savage.
idea what Manny is
That's some
talking
real
about.
shit, you know.
It's a.
You're talking about that
lucha match
real
happened.
shit, bro. You wouldn't know. You know?
It sounded kind of
You
real.
hate
but I was-
Lucha Libre.
I
We
know.
all know it. You know?
I see. I don't hate lucha. You know. When it
Yeah, you
actually
do.
looks. someday I'll explain. Someday I'll explain. But yeah, man. Joe
See,
Holford,
the
how
live
are
chat
you?
don't see the messages or get, you know. But yeah, as EB was saying, Colbert, the veteran round here.
Yeah.
What you doing?
If there's one thing I
Yeah.
know, it's that the chat doesn't need to see any messages that are exchanged between any of us at any point during any week. I know that much for sure. But nonetheless, I'm delighted to be here. Another great week of professional wrestling in the books, right? Worldwide, back getting to talk about it all. I do kind of like these weekends where I know this sounds like I'm dissing NXT, but I think you guys know what I mean. When there's not like a big US show and you're allowed to really enjoy like the highlights of the Japanese work over the weekend, I think it's a really cool thing on a Monday. That's what I did today. Was just watching the main bits and main parts. That was a thrill, man. It felt like it's been a while since I've done that because like the wrestling schedule is crazy now.
It's too
right?
much.
Like,
It's too much.
every weekend there's stuff that's worth your time, and but I will say there's a great amount of variety on display at the moment that I think for a while, and I loved this time of wrestling in that mid 2010s. I loved it, but it did feel like we got kind of homogenized to such an extreme where there was so much bleed over. I feel like quietly the styles are kind of separating themselves again as of late. Maybe it's just because I've been kind of oblivious for so long. But in my last couple of months watching more wrestling, it's felt that way to me. I don't know, but yeah, I'm great.
Joe, you know, I completely agree with you when it comes to styles kind of like delineating again, because it's like you go back to like 2017, right? And it just felt like, you know what it was? Like everyone had access to that type of match that got over now, which is like that takeover PWG formula of like, you know what I mean? Like just everybody's doing the same sequence together where it's like, you know, the Mexican chops and then the strike exchange and then pausing for this is awesome and, you know, falling to get at the same time to get the fight forever chance and, you know, all that type of stuff. And it just kind of, you know, when you see it the first time, it's mind blowing. And then when you watch like so many of them in order, it just kind of feels like your brain is getting numbed. And so yeah, I see what you're saying now. When it's like various parts of Japan, like they just wrestle very differently, and you know, WWE has their house style, and like AEW kind of has their like. It almost feels like a really like a fast food version of like every single style you've seen.
Yeah,
you know, which is really cool variety. So I'd agree with that. What I will say though, man, last night, you know what I thought to myself, because I was like catching up with everything. Then I asked myself, I'm like, not that I wasn't enjoying what I was watching, but I was like, man, sometimes it does feel like I'm watching all this stuff just to feel like I'm up to date, rather than because like I'm like, I need to see this, right? And that's kind of one of the problems sometimes with like too much wrestling and trying to be caught up, because it's like you just feel like you're doing it out of obligation and to kind of watch everything on time to be able to talk about it. And after like, I don't know, after like promotion number 6 and it's like 4 a.m., you're just like, I'm watching too much fucking wrestling. Like,
I'm with you, man. You know, we all joke around here, but like, you know, I've been doing this for a while, so I've gone through that kind of up and down. Like right now, for the first time in a long time, I'm really enjoying the process again. But part of that's because I'm kind of refreshed because I didn't do it for a while. It's a hard thing. Like I do envy many of our friends who, Manny probably been one of them, who many I feel like you can consume wrestling at a much higher clip than I can. It burns me out. But part of that is because I'm watching it like a fucking lunatic, typing away violently as I'm trying to put together a review. I mean, that's not the right way to watch wrestling.
Writing a review while watching is that's brutal.
Yeah, exactly.
I know
so
that's
it's
kind
an
of
interesting thing, definitely.
I can't do the reviews that Joe does or whatever, because that's not the way I do it. So like instead of like typing my thoughts for every match that I'm watching, I'm just writing it down while I'm watching every match. So it's just like a streamline of my thoughts. I'm not really reviewing anything. So that's I guess that's why it's easier, and I'm able to enjoy some matches more. But man, I get burned out sometimes. But like last night, I was getting burned out too. And then I just happened, the last match I saw was the Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi match, because it just happened to be the last match that I had to watch. And it woke me up. It woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to go back to sleep. And I'm like, man, it's been 24 hours I've been up. I gotta be up in a few more hours. I'll just go back to sleep. But man, this like when you finally get that one match, it's just like
makes it worth it. Yeah,
it
makes
it worth it. You know what I have been getting pretty good at the last few years, to be honest, is sometimes I'll just say no to a match that's considered great if I just don't feel like it. And usually it's when it's someone I just am not crazy into. Like a lot of the matches that were praised from New Japan this weekend, involve at least one talent that I just don't particularly care for. Like people were like, "Oh my God, Hiromu Takahashi versus Yo." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not watching Yo," you know. And then someone
I did the exact same thing, which
I
is
was like,
terrible.
"I'm not watching Yo." Someone was like, well, Ospreay versus Taichi," and like respectfully, I was just like, "I'm not watching a 20+ minute Taichi match right now."
No, bro. You
You might need to see that one.
no,
here's one that I changed that I feel like I'm wrong on, right? So Ash was like, "Yo, ZSJ versus Ishii starting now," and I was like, I mean, I've seen him wrestle before, you know. Not that I'm sure it's gonna be great, right? But I was like, you know, I've seen that pairing. Like I've seen it a million times. I've seen it in New Japan Cups and G1s. I'm not rushing to see this, right? And then everyone on the timeline was like, 15-minute time limit. I was like, 15-minute time limit. I gotta watch that. I gotta see that. You know what I mean?
The match was unbelievable.
So the one thing I want to say about the Taichi
Ishii in 15 minutes. That sounds godly.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm gonna say about the Taichi and Ishii match is like the two separate matches. I didn't want to watch Taichi at all, and then for some reason, I'm gonna watch it because it's a little Ospreay match. You know, he's on a roll. Taichi comes out, and I've never seen like Taichi have this look on his face. Like he's like dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ospreay comes out dead serious, and Ospreay now has like, since he wrestled Kenny, he has a different aura around him. Like I watched it and I said, "Who the hell is this guy?" Like, I have no idea who he is. And then like they go in there, they just start fucking each other up.
Yeah. And how great, Manny, was that? Go finish your man.
No, yeah, I was gonna say like I wanted like the counters that Taichi had for the Oz Cutter the first time, and then how he turned the second one into like a high angle. I think he turned into the dangerous driver.
Yeah, he did.
And I was just like, "Fuck, man!" He just dropped him right on his head, and he just started cosplaying as Kawada.
How great was Taichi's face? Taichi's face when Ospreay did the Kawada kicks was incredible. Like it added so much depth to the match because he looked kind of fearful to engage in this like whole shit test of ego. You know, like he was like, "Oh fuck, I can't lose in this domain, bro. I can't let this dude do that." And Ospreay's talking shit, and it actually felt like really earned and organic when he was doing it too, because you know the crowd was with Taichi. It was his hometown crowd. It was awesome. I love that match.
The best part about that too is that Ospreay drops Taichi. No, Taichi drops Ospreay, and before he can go on and do more offense, he just stops and tells Ospreay to get up and kick him and do the Kawada kicks again. And he's like, "I'm not gonna let you outdo me."
You can kind of see there's like a sense that Taichi's getting more and more belief in himself as he hurts Ospreay, because Ospreay has the facade, right? He's not even selling any of these, and he hits him to the body, and Ospreay fucking like wilts and covers up. It was tremendous. And to circle the Zack Sabre Jr. Ishii match, one particular moment in that was just outstanding was, you know, Chris Charlton always tells the story of when Zack throws strikes, he's not looking for a knockout. He's looking to bait the guy in so he can grapple and hook him, right? So they're doing this deal, and Ishii throws a forearm, and Zack ducks it, goes to make his move, and Ishii times a fucking headbutt, like boom, like right on the spot, nails him. And they go into a full shooter, and it is just like, it's electric action, man. Like when Zack levels up as a striker, it's really exciting.
I want to say, like, this match was kind of like, the opening of the match was kind of like shocking to me because it was Ishii that instigated the mat stuff.
And got the better of it for a minute.
Yeah, he did. And then Zack Sabre Jr. was the one that was doing the striking. And I don't know, like, it's the same thing that happened after Wrestle Kingdom. He joined TMDK. Like, I feel like Zack Sabre Jr. is now in the striking phase of his career, where he's just like, I feel like he's like 08 Bryan Danielson, where they're not doing any technical stuff. He's just striking, and then like because during the whole match with Ishii, he's just striking. There's not really any mat work between them. And then at certain points, when Ishii's like, "Okay, we're not gonna do any of the mat stuff," and like Zack Sabre Jr. is just like standing right in front of him, Ishii's just throwing bombs on him, and Zack Sabre Jr. can't like hang with him. But the only way Zack Sabre Jr. is able to hang with Ishii is when he's moving around and doing all these running. It's awesome. It's like a different version of Zack Sabre Jr. You're really gonna enjoy it. I was mad that the 14 minutes flew by. I said, "That's it."
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
I'm really looking forward to just all the possibilities and potential this that this new championship will bring. This like TV championship. What I'm looking for in general with New Japan going deeper into 2023 is I really want to see more forward momentum on just their future. You know what I mean? And then seeing guys now start to be on the cusp of breaking into that main event kind of grouping of people that we've seen wrestle each other numerous times. They're starting to go really hard on Shota Umino. I haven't seen the match at Naito yet, which I I want to check out because I saw people say that it was kind of discouraging. For sure.
32 minutes, bro.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought it was a shit. I don't remember anything about that match. I just remember
that's
I'm not
unfortunate
even
because-
normally one of those people who's like, if it's too long, it's too long. But I am also a fan of like the short TV matches, for
Oh
like
my
TV. Me and you, we were literally talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
But when I saw
Wait, Monty,
32
can I call
minutes
you?
for that, I was just kind of like,
Monty, I gotta quote you because something, just the way you wrote this had me howling at my phone. Yo, Joe, so me and Monty were talking about match times, right? And he was just like, why are Mello and Cruz doing a 2 out of 3 falls? And he's just like, why? And then
we'll get into that.
Wait, so listen, over here's what makes it funny. So he goes, I was like, yeah, like Mello Peaks is like a 14-minute do all your spots guy. And Monty was like, 9 minutes. And I was like, 9 minutes? And then he says, he goes, bro, 9 minutes is a good time. 9 minutes is a good time.
It's true that I will say we get so many extended epics now. I do think people don't quite realize what you can do with like a 10-minute slot. Like you can do a lot with that, man. There's really good matches at 10 minutes. So there's some truth to it, definitely. I mean, a 2 out of 3 falls match, that's a little bit challenging, but I get what you mean, Monty. I understand.
It was funny during the Naito match and Shooter. I was in the Discord last night. They were saying you got to watch the match just so you can see it. I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and then I'm like, "Oh shit, they're still going!" Like I fell asleep in my chair, and I said, "Oh, bro, this is it. This is it." But I do want to say
those late New Japan nights, bro.
I'm gonna say like the best promotion I think right now that is on fire that people are now starting to pick up steam on is CMLL.
Oh,
yeah. I've been watching I can't really watch. I don't have 2 hours to fit in every show, so I'm just watching main events from all the shows. And bro, every week, man, CMLL on Friday nights, it's like one of the best main events I'm seeing. Like last week's main event was a 6-man tag, 10 minutes. They're in there quick, and I was like, bro, this is almost a 4-star match.
I gotta say, so Dave Meltzer was somebody who loved the Arena Mexico shows right back in the day. And I remember for years, right, like anytime CMLL came up in conversation, it was always like, oh, they're gonna die, or just him talking about like, oh man, the Arena Mexico shows aren't what they used to be. And from what I gathered, they just didn't really do anything remotely big in the pandemic because it's a pandemic and there's no fans. And so I don't think it's a coincidence that like now that things are fully opened up, like they're back to getting buzz again, I guess, in our circles. So I'm really happy to hear that. I like hearing that like, promotions that are outside of like the main 2 or 3 are kind of getting back to life and things like that. Like that's just really healthy for the business. I watched the Volador Rocky match and I thought it was awesome, and their crowds are great, man. So I'm going to check out some more of them. I know a friend of mine.
You need to watch Stuka Jr. and Mystico, and it helps that the original Mystico is back as the guy.
As Mystico.
Yeah, it's just
that pops me. That pops me. My friend of mine, Joseph Monticello, has been telling me, he's like, CML is a promotion of the year right now. It's a promotion of the year right now. They're amazing. So I'm gonna get caught up with this
good
stuff.
shit, man. I went on like a little rant in the group. Well, I won't say a rant because it was positive, but like, wrestling's on the up at the minute.
I
good
like
start
it.
Good start to the year. AEW's products got very, very good again.
Yeah.
WWE's hot, like undeniably. New Japan's got a good start to the year going. Noah's picked up some momentum internationally.
I watched
MLW got their big TV deal.
Yeah,
Monty, did you watch?
Court Bauer. Court Bauer.
Fuck MLW, bro. Bro, did you see that? Did you see
We'll
that?
get into it, bro.
Okay, before we go, I want to talk about this one show. I want to talk about the Noah show. I just finished watching it a while ago. Bro, Dr. I don't know where the hell the Dr. Wagner Jr. came out of or where he showed up. I've never heard of him before. Bro, he's a fucking beast, bro. He went in there with Sonya. They had like a 25-minute match.
Wow, I didn't see that.
It was incredible.
I did hear that was pretty good.
Good shit, man. Yeah, we got a super
he did the Rich's knees. I was like, oh, bro, I'm putting him in the Hooper list.
Oh,
talking to Hoopers. Jan Theodore, $5 Canadian. Watched Necro Butcher versus Joe for the first time after Monty's recommendation. Great stuff, and I showed it my friends who freaked the heck out. Listen, bro.
One of the most special matches in wrestling history. And I say
That's some
that
real
knowing
shit.
how I know how ridiculous that sounds, but I believe every word I just said. That match is that's a singular match in history. You know,
I got a question for you guys. Who do you think right now is the most efficient wrestler on American television?
Oh, it's the big man. It's got to be Joe. It has to be, right?
You think so? Like, to me, I think it's by efficient. I mean, like, get the most out of like short spaces of time. Because I was thinking about this, the first Darby Joe match, like it couldn't have been more than like 12 minutes, right?
Right.
And that was my favorite of the trilogy. And then you got guys like Chad Gable who are giving Seth Rollins as their best match in months in like 6 minutes.
He's very good. Yeah, it's a different kind of efficient, though, right? Very different kind of efficient. I think it's fair to say those two guys. But yeah, definitely.
You can argue
Sure.
Darby and Samoa Joe, and they just
I'm gonna go Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, Chad Gable, and like
John Moxley.
No. John doesn't give me much in 6 minutes. John has to bleed and do the striking and the fight forever and that stuff, which is fine. God, I feel like I'm forgetting someone already.
Takeshita's good in that regard. Takeshita's good.
Sure.
Brian Cage.
No.
Ray.
Yeah, that's a good one. Rey Mysterio. Monty, remember Raw like about almost a year ago where it was like our only pop besides like Cody was like Ray in 5 minutes, just being Ray in 5 minutes.
Just, you know, how many TV matches does that go work now? You know, so
he's a professional TV match wrestler.
He's
WWE got a few guys like that.
Is he? He may be the best ever, right? In terms of TV wrestlers, he might.
Probably.
I think so. Anyway, you know.
Because you know what it is, Joe.
Subjective.
When I honestly, and I think Ray's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. Right. When I think of like how many Ray matches that I would go 4.5 on or plus, it's not like 27, 30 matches like that, but the density of like
good matches,
just good matches. You know what I mean? Like it's like pretty much every one of them except maybe against like Khali or some shit. You know, like.
I will say on a lesser level, and he's a lot less like iconic too. But Christian was like that too, where Christian would have like a handful of great matches throughout his career, but he has so many matches that are like 3.5. Just really good wrestling matches. Like he's another guy who's a great TV guy.
Professional
Sheamus is
star machine, man.
Sheamus is one too. That dude's fucking.
Yes, if we're talking all time,
TV wrestler, he's great. Yeah.
What's up? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, listen. Redacted is the greatest TV match wrestler of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No, I'll probably still go Ray because
Claudio is a good one. Ben said Claudio
is actually a good one.
Claudio's one of the best tag wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the most. Yeah.
Hard editing, $4.99. Indies are killing it too. West Coast Pro, Queen of the Indies is going to be a great show. I'm heading out to see Unagi live. Well, I've not seen it, but you know.
Did you guys know that Redacted and Eddie had a 4-star match?
Man brought him back up, bro.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about it. Listen, no, guys, no bullshit. Redacted and Eddie have a 4-star match that went 4 minutes and 40-something seconds.
I believe it.
You believe?
I believe it completely, bro.
Immediate crossface, like 2 Germans, like a dive. Oh,
look, man, I'm not proud to say it, but there's still, on occasion, you need to kind of scratch that itch. You know what I mean? You find yourself.
Hey man, I got that Blue Pegasus.
I'm sorry.
I got his Blue Pegasus mask right there. You know, every time I go to sleep, I look at it. You know, I just have to.
That's a way of describing it, bro. Like.
Bro, I'm just being real. I'm being real. Seriously, we're all friends here. Sometimes you want to watch some graps, and you don't want to watch the latest Okada match. You need to watch a certain wrestler do a certain kind of match, and you find yourself, back there.
And they're all on YouTube.
And then, look, like I said, I look at my mask before I go to sleep, and I say, "Have I watched enough highlights this week?" You know, that's what I do. And then,
man, he's look.
Ask yourself.
Bro, if you just look up his name and just insert a year, bro, there's like 16 TV matches on YouTube right there that are like all under like 8 minutes. Like it just,
it's the truth. He's so many guys have tried to recreate what he was as a wrestler. It can't be done. I'm sorry. I've seen it been attempted for 15 years. It's singular, man. I can't change that. It's the reality of the situation.
I thought like Pac could do it, and he's great, but it's not the same,
No, because it isn't the physical part. It's the It's the intensity,
aura.
man. Yeah, it's
To
like
be fair, Danielson in his first 2 months of AEW was that.
close, but it's still different though, right? There's like a sort of, I don't know, man. There's an edge.
Him versus Dustin was giving it to me. Like I
I can't believe we're doing this, but I did just say there's an edge. There's an edge to him. That's what I said. Yes.
Never mind.
There's no holding me back.
Listen, we're not doing this any longer.
We shouldn't do this. Stop it, please.
It's already way too much, you know.
Yeah.
He does a pretty good
Talking of real graps, Ring of Honor. I want to talk about Ring of Honor. TV tapings are finally scheduled, apparently, according to Will Washington on Fightful Select. Ring of Honor talent have been told that Ring of Honor tapings will be taking place in Florida during the last weekend of February. Talent was under the impression that it would be at Universal Studios.
Shout out Nigel.
Let it go, Manny.
Nah, bro. Listen, bro. Manny. I might be with you.
Bro, I did investigating research, on his Twitter account. He has his 2 recent likes or ROH stuff.
Listen, he's acting suspect, bro. He's
acting
suspicious, bro.
I'm telling you, for weeks, the only thing he had uploaded as his most recent tweet was a retweet of NXT Level Up. Then out of nowhere, he retweets him talking about ROH. Come on, bro.
I will say,
and now
he is
and
in
now
the
he's
middle
watching.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he sounded kind of sad in the middle, like when he first started, because they're talking about his documentary, and he kind of sounded sad about the way he retired. Then at the end, he said, "You know what? But I'm watching back my ROH stuff now." And I said, "He's coming back. He remembered he's that Jawbreaker Larry dude, and he's gonna come back in. I don't know, wrestle Claudio or something."
He's not wrestling, but what I will say is he is very.
Listen, bro.
No, but listen, I was gonna say, I'm not entertained, but his current radio silence is very similar to the type of radio silence that someone undergoes when they're about to like resurface somewhere, So look, for Manny's sake and for frankly Monty's sake, I do hope he shows up on commentary or something like that. I'm really curious and optimistic, cautiously about these tapings. I really hope Ring of Honor's TV is awesome. I want to get into it. So
I'm gonna pretend either way, bro.
Nah, Monty. If this shit is like AEW Dark with the Ring of Honor logo, like
they need to. The presentation is going to need a certain flavor. I don't need it to be a packed house, but it can't look like how Dark looks, man. Dark is rough. Like I love studio wrestling, but the way they do Dark, where it's just like they still have a stage, but there's like 4 rows. That's difficult. I don't. You're gonna get more creative than that. I do think Jeff Jarrett kind of suggested that he said something about like we're gonna rev up or Universal. So he said that.
Yeah, he said they're gonna change things up about the presentation and all that.
Because he would have worked it, and I mean, look. Jeff Jarrett had many misses as a promoter, but obviously his memory of Universe will look very different, right? Obviously, it goes without saying. So we'll see what he does.
So what are we expecting?
Real graps.
Yeah.
What are we expecting? I'm just going in hopeful and blind.
Is Tony gonna book it? Is Tony booking it?
Yes.
Come on. He loves Ring of Honor.
Fuck!
He loves booking, bro. He's gonna get his note. He's gonna get his notepad out. He's gonna draw his tables and his column.
He's gonna send Joe a list of names and be like, "Please send back the ones you're willing to wrestle at Universal Studio."
Can you just let Joe and Lethal book it? Like
no. This was gonna happen. Like Tony finally went back home. He went to his closet, dusted out his old Ring of Honor journal, blew dust on it, and said, "All right, I'm just gonna switch the names around. These are the angles we're gonna do. I've had this plan for a long time." He's like, some of the names you can tell are already gonna be there. There's like Trisadora, Tracy Williams, Billy Starks, Finley's son, Claudio's always, Yuta's gonna be there. It's not David Finley. It's the other one.
Got ya. I'm intrigued by how many wrestlers are on this roster because, like, if it's a 1 hour TV show, you don't need many. But bless Tony Khan, he is not always armed with restraint. He can get a little bit carried away. He's gonna roll up to Universal with a 60 talent roster list and go,
"Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!"
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be
You
interesting.
know what? You know what? I honestly think he should study NXT's WWE Network format.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like NXT had a decently sizable roster, but like if you remember, Finn Balor would wrestle like once in a set of tapings, and then those remaining weeks he's just like a vignette guy, or like a pre-tape guy.
Yeah.
And they would rotate like you'd see roughly like 12 to 14 people on television every hour, and they'd like rotate which ones those people were. So yeah,
that TV was tremendous, man. I mean,
it's very, very good, simple professional wrestling TV.
Yeah, it very much. I think the USA Network era, in some ways, has left memories that have kind of bled over. But that was such a restrained TV show. In that, like, I always think of like 2016 range. Everything felt so focused, and it was literally as simple as, "What's our next takeover card? Let's book the tapings." It's a very simple. It's how wrestling used to be, right? Like that's in a lot of ways that's what it was.
Where are we going? Okay, how do we get to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few more super chats though.
TV.
We're gonna keep on top of them today. So that's
sure
the
about
goal.
that,
That's my goal. I'm gonna cut man's off if I've got to cut man's off. That's what I gotta do right now. I'm a professional. Pylon's $5. Do you guys remember when Wheeler Yuta was studying redacted tapes around Forbidden Door?
Was he really? Did he confirm this?
Well, of course he didn't.
I think his confirmation was Blood and Guts, in which he did the official move set from front to back. I think that was his confirmation. Honestly, unfortunately,
freaking. Are you guys familiar with Adam Priest?
I've seen very little, but I'm familiar.
Super solid independent wrestler, right? He's starting to make waves a little bit. He's very good, right? One time I was in a space with him, right? And I kid you not, everything about him, from his physical build to his moveset, is very much exactly like Redacted, and he's really good, right? And so I was like, "What's up, Adam?" And he's like, "Oh, what's going on, man?" And I was like, "I've always wanted to ask you, man. And I just asked him the question, right, to see what he's gonna say. And he was just like, "Man, y'all are crazy, man. I'll see y'all around, man." He got him out, and he dipped.
He said, "Come on, bro. You can't give up my formula like that. Come on."
He literally chuckled and was just like, "Yikes!" and just ran.
Bro gave away the secret recipe. He's like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, man.
Shit, man.
Ben Dixon, $2 Australian. Appreciate it. Davey has been trying to recreate it for 20 years. So many have come and gone. Some are still around, and some have found a middle ground, and
Yeah.
I will say Davey is the closest one too. That reminds me of him.
I don't know. There's definitely he sort of captured certain elements of it, but there are many that I think he just didn't have in his arsenal. He's a very good wrestler. I like Davey a lot.
You know who else we haven't been able to recreate? Low key. Like nobody's like Low key.
No one would try. You can't try that. It's too dangerous.
I don't even know how to explain Low key stuff. He's just like a cokehead, bro.
Yeah,
he's a shooter. He just goes in there and fucks people up.
Black Air Force is the wrestler. Like that's Low key.
It's true, man. Like, no, you can't watch Low Key tapes. Like, what can I take from this? He's
another one of one. Mavs fan 199. Watch London vs Kendrick shoot on Benny. He was nuts. Well,
Well, some of the greats are nuts.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I shouldn't even say this, but while I may watch that Mavs fan, I don't know if we need that shoot to confirm that Benny was nuts. I'm going to be honest. I think we've rested the case on that one. I think it's confirmed.
That was settled, a long time ago.
Is there any great wrestler ever that isn't a little out of his fucking mind?
I agree. I think this may be a slightly extreme case, though. If it would be
sure, no. This is
what are we doing?
This is independent of that. I'm just asking it as a general question. Yeah, no. I wasn't like, yeah. I mean, we're all a little. No, yeah. This is completely separate. It's not good. I was just asking it as a general question. Is there any great wrestler who isn't like at least a little bit just out of his mind?
I don't think so. No, I think you have to be nuts.
Cody Rhodes is a sociopath.
Yeah, every great
Alright.
person is like has a screw loose or two. So
Kenny seems normal. Kenny seems pretty normal.
Ricky
Relatively speaking.
Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat is a good.
Sure.
Yeah, Ricky Steam. Yeah, that's a
He
good one.
seems. Have you ever heard? They asked Ricky about why he thinks tag wrestling's like why he loves tag wrestling, and he goes, "4 guys, man, more guys that can do good wrestling." He's like, "Fair, I guess."
and then you talk to any other guy from his era, and they're just like, "Well, the thing about his brothers, you know,
Yeah.
it's just 4 guys there. You know what I mean? 4 stars, four Astros coming in the universe and the galaxy. They come out there, you look them dead in the eye, and you realize it's just me, you, and these 4 rings, these 4 ropes. Like, all right, man, all right."
Ben Dixon, $5, appreciate you. TK is rewatching the Sapolsky shoot where he reads from his idea notebook after he got fired from Ring of Honor to help the new Ring of Honor.
Listen, this is a big platform. We need to talk about this. That is one of the most incredible things that any person in wrestling has ever done. Brother had a shoot interview booked like 2 weeks after he got fired. Had his fucking book out. The DVD isn't even good. It ain't even good. But it's just Sean Oliver is just watching him read his own booking. And this was like a controversy. This was a great drama. And Adam Pearce, meanwhile, had to book the actual promotion without copying anything that Gabe had in his fucking book on a DVD. And it's one of the most carny things ever, man.
I would pop so much if like Tony just retcons like Ring of Honor like after 2012 and like nothing happened after 2012. It just goes like that.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Could you
boy.
imagine that? Like, can you imagine someone doing it on Twitch today? Like some Raw writer gets canned and goes on fucking Twitch and is like, let me tell you what Uncle Howdy's doing next, folks.
Have you noticed, like, Raw writers, like, they're anonymous while they're employed. They get fired. They remain anonymous. And ever so often, right, they'll resurface, and you know when they make themselves known? In a random quote tweet of an article or something. Yeah. I've noticed this, like, a few times where, like it'll be like a headline or something, and, like, a guy will be like, I was on creative in 2021. Not at all. That didn't happen. We're just like, wait, who the fuck are you? You know?
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Very different industry now, right? Very different. Like this, the idea of it does kind of intrigue me as to kind of who are like wrestling bookers going to be in 20 years? Who are they now, honestly? But who are they going to be in 20 years? Like what?
Tony Khan and Triple H.
I don't know, man.
Booking. I think I honestly need. I mean, I'm a fucking. I don't know what the word would be, but I feel like Joe, you're gonna understand what I mean here, and Monty, I think you'll get it too. I don't think a lot of modern fans know what booking actually is.
Yeah, I would pretend.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it sounds weird, but I know what you mean in terms of like.
Also sounds very pretentious.
It sounds super. It sounds super like you guys are idiots. But
it does.
Everyone throw tomatoes at you, boo, bro.
No, but hold on, let him cook.
Let me cook. No, really though. Like I feel like people, like when they'll be like, "Oh my god, Gable versus Gargano, Hunter's the Booker of the Year." Like Tony Khan, oh my god, Dynamite this card up, the Booker of the Year. Bro, that's matchmaking. Like that's matchmaking. That's not like there's so much more to booking than putting 2 people you like in a match and then putting it on television. There's like the structuring of like an angle and who you're planning to elevate and like how you're promoting this match and how are you using this to draw money for a pay-per-view or like a bigger card you're building to and things like that. And like this is not me saying that people can't do that. I'm just saying that people I feel like don't think about these things when they just talk about booking.
I think the issue is the 2 guys you just use an example. I get why you use them, but obviously
the obvious
the element they have that everyone I think is lost on people that are booking under them is like they have the all-star rosters, right? So
I'm sorry.
What? What's going on?
Darren Walker, £10, appreciate it. My favourite Loki moment was the time he did a running rolling kick and knocked him out cold. Yeah. Crowd went crazy, but Key trying to have a match with a dead corpse.
Yeah, because he tried. He didn't just pin him. He like tried to pull him up to his feet, and it's fucking unbelievable. But I think the top, they have the all-star rosters, so they can do the matchmaking thing to great effect. But I think the problem is when you're booking, Impact Wrestling, you're like, well, let's do some matchmaking, brother. Who we got here, and you that's where I think the kind of art of booking is most apparent is in the smaller promotions in some ways because they're not making the most of individual assets. They're just sort of piling talent on and thinking that will make the difference, which it never has and it never will. I mean, Impact have got
It's a lot
Impact
of
have got like
matchmaking, man.
Brother, Impact
It's
got like 60 dudes on their roster. There's
Well,
no
to be
reason
fair-
for that, but that's where they're at and whatever.
Well, to be fair to Impact, they put all their best wrestlers in like multi-man tags and multi-man matches, so they save all the big matches for when they
They would
eventually
be
move
well
up the card.
served to like actually focus on the guys they believe in and do the good old fashioned professional wrestling push, rather than guys just sort of exist there. It's a strange trend. I don't know. It's a weird one to me.
Yeah, a lot of talent piling, a lot of just mainly matchmaking, and
Yeah.
if your talent goes out there and does what's expected, and has great matches, because there's a lot of great wrestlers around, probably more than ever in terms of work rate wise. But definitely more than ever. It's
Hire me, Impact. I'll matchmake for you. I'll get a big whiteboard with some faces on it, and I'll move them around. Be like, here you go. This is the first hour.
Impact
Second hour,
Wrestling.
we'll go from there.
Impact
look,
Wrestling. I promise
booking.
you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
I was going to say, Impact Wrestling. I promise you, if you hand the pen to just the WrestlePurists team, I promise you, your promotion will be at least marginally better off.
I
We'll
would
get some
show up
hype
on
going.
day one. Monty would be like at the head of the desk, head of the table, I should say. And I'd walk in and go, "What are we doing with a machine gun, Cole Anderson?" Monty would go, "Well, he left 6 months ago. I'd go back to the World Wrestling Federation." I would quickly turn around, walk out the door, and you never see me again. And
Is there another big, tall, white guy with a beard with tattoos we can use around here?
Not really tall, to be honest, but yeah, I know what you mean. Let's get Trench.
I'd look, Jesus, Trench. I'd look at Jonathan Gresham and I'd be like, brother, I got you.
No, fuck. Listen, I like Gresham with the.
I would encourage this too, which would make it even funnier.
Me and somebody else would have to go to New York and have a sit down with low key,
New
like at a diner, and be like, "So here's an Impact contract. Let's slide it over and be like, what can we do to get this to work?" Well, have you ever thought about being the Impact World Heavyweight Champion?
Right, we take over Impact tomorrow. Yeah, we
Right.
get the book.
Let's do it, man.
He gets in touch. He's like, you know what? I've had a good run. Don't give the pen. Gives me the pen. I employ this booking to him. And, right, so what we're dealing with? We got Alexander's world champ. Mickey James is world champ currently, and whoever beats is going to retire. So, who's retiring Mickey James?
It has to be Jordan Grace.
But she's just beat her. Like, if
Isn't it-
Jordan Grace was going to beat her, it would have been.
Shouldn't it be Masha?
Ooh.
You know what I would do? I'd make Black Towers the X Division champion immediately.
Well, fellas, this is my first. I'd be sitting quietly while the boys went through the roster, and I'd go, fellas, those FTR contracts are coming up pretty soon. What kind of money we got over there, Monty?
Did you? Yo, Joe Holver, you know what I was just telling Monty? I said, the main event of our first WrestlePurists wrestling show should obviously 100% be Jacob Fatu versus Dax Harwood for the WrestlePurists Championship Wrestling champion.
We might need to get on that for the Impact Wrestling front. That sounds like real grabs, man.
Yeah, man.
How do you think Tony Khan will sit down with us and we discuss like trades for people he doesn't want anymore? Like, since he doesn't use, we have names of guys he doesn't use.
Putting a package together for
Tony's that much of like a fan that like, if a promotion approached him with that idea, I reckon it'd talk.
I don't think Manny realizes that Tony Khan and Paul Levesque are hoarders, and will keep things around that they don't even want.
Yeah, that's the truth.
What if you show him a spreadsheet? You show him a spreadsheet, and you're like, "Hey, look, you're a spreadsheet guy. We're spreadsheet guys, and look, these are guys you don't use and you haven't used in years."
Walking into the office trying to sell the boys on the value of Sean Spears in a trade.
You know what I was thinking about?
I'd work some magic, bro. Telling you.
Bro, I was walking to
some
work.
Negotiation tactics.
Unironically,
hero comes home.
Unironically, I was thinking about Sean Spears versus Cody Rhodes walking to work the other day from All Out 2019. It's a good time. It's a really good match. I don't know.
Anyway.
Mark Anderson has a great smile.
Mavs fan 84, 199. Appreciate it. Low-key fighting with fans gives me life. He's a crazy dude, bro. Ben Dixon, $2 Australian. Appreciate you. Just trying to imagine a Manny low-key conversation. Well, yeah.
We'll talk about Joe Rogan and some stuff like that.
Coming soon to the WrestlePurists.
Yeah, that.
Talk about Bruce Lee. I seen Enter the Dragon.
Jesus Christ.
Rogan was an incredible immediate fucking
Yeah, right.
tremendous.
Loki seems like a Rogan guy, just talking about UFC one.
Yes. Well, I don't know if
Talk
we talk about UFC, but you know.
Pride. Oh no, he'll talk about Pride. Hey.
Well, maybe some other talking points, but you know.
Loki probably has a punching bag in his house.
No probably about it, brother.
Yeah. Loki. We're talking about some characters tonight, you know.
Yeah, man. That's what Worldwide's about, brother. You know,
it's wrestling, bro.
The wrestling minutia. You know what I mean? That just pops everybody.
Factual.
Yeah, man. We got what we got on the horizon. We've got Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. That's been officially announced for Elimination Chamber in Montreal. This happened directly after SmackDown when there was the big angle where Sami Zayn came back and he tried to jump Roman Reigns, but he ended up getting taken out by the Bloodline. Jey Uso was still nowhere to be seen. And yeah, man, that's how we kind of got to the announcement. I do want to say Roman Reigns in his segments, like leading up to like the last segment of the show, was like an incredible piece of shit. You know. So,
can you give me an impression of Roman backstage talking to Solo and Jimmy, please?
Bro, he was.
Go do it. Go ahead.
He's like, Jimmy, you word off your brother. Jimmy's like, nah. He's like, nah, I ain't, don't know what's got into it. Roman's just a manipulative piece of shit, and he's like, that's your brother, bro. Like, don't you think that's disrespectful?
Yeah, when he said, he's like, aren't you defending the titles next week? And Jimmy was like, yeah.
Yeah, bro, he's
not gonna talk to you, bro.
He's like, that's our family, bro. Like,
Solo looked. Did you notice how sad Solo looked in that segment? He looked so bummed out. It was fucking awesome, man. It's tremendous.
You know what I hate when people tell me to look for something with no, like, I don't even know where to look. Like, because Roman is sitting there and he's like, go find Jay, and they're just kind of like, all right. And he's like, he ain't gonna find himself. Go now. I'm like, okay, what if he's like out of the country? Like, are you just supposed to like run out the room and like get a plane ticket?
Jimmy's take was, Jimmy said something like, if I haven't spoken to him, no one has, which popped me like the idea that Jay's just completely shut off the rest of the world. He refuses to have contact with anyone after what went down at fucking.
He blacked out his social media,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's not around, bro.
I got a question for Monty.
Go on.
What did you think of the Sami Zayn angle to close the show, where he popped in with the hoodie, he speared Roman, he was like, fired up.
It was good, bro. Like the crowd loved it as well because he got the first initial part where it's in the hood. He pulls the hood off and they come up again, and it's just And obviously you can't just let Sami jump Roman. You know what I mean? You gotta
get my heat back.
Yeah, the Bloodline's all in the ring as well, so it's just one of them. So yeah, man. And obviously that's kind of like the story, Yeah. It's, can Sami in Montreal gonna come out like a rock star, bro? That's gonna be something, bro. It's just
he's gonna come out with he's gonna shave his hair for it too. You know that, right? Like he's gonna cut his hair.
Look at this, that Darren Walker £2 super chat. I appreciate it. Any more WrestlePurists interviews soon should get Loki. Well,
we should interview the weirdos, to be honest with you, as long as they're not too weird.
I don't know about this.
Manny, send me your email. Send me your email, man.
I might have to miss that episode of Worldwide, folks.
Mousefan84 $4.99.
I'll interview Kyrie Irving for the website.
Well, that's a bit, Mousefan84 $4.99. Remember when Cody wanted to bring back the unprotected chair shots for the boys, and then Spears botched a chair shot and made him bleed anyway? Hard way.
For the boys is the best Cody quote ever. He said, I wanted to reclaim it for the boys. What the fuck? Chair shots to the head.
He literally, he said, I remember this. Like,
reclaim it for the boys.
He's a maniac. But to be fair, chair shots to the head looked incredible. They were so awesome. I don't care what anybody said. They're obviously not safe and they're not good for wrestlers, which is why they don't exist anymore. but they looked great. So if there was a possibility that he could have safely brought it back to the boys, that would have been a big win for wrestling. But it didn't happen. So
the only thing
No,
I'll
the
say on
botched it,
this,
so.
and I'm always hesitant to do so because, as you just said, they did fuck it up. So it's but sometimes it does pop me when like wrestling fans isolate chair shots to the head as though it's the only head trauma that's sustained in a professional. Like some of the guys today are fucking themselves up in that sense. But it's like,
Bro,
yeah, but there's no chair shots to the head, bro. It's
bro,
like, all right,
people are
man.
getting suplexed on their heads.
Right?
And,
Yeah.
and in Japan, actively, I think I've watched like 4 or 5 matches with shoot headbutts in it. Like
There was a
just in the
lot.
last
bro,
couple
the
days.
peak-
Yeah.
They're picking back up again. Those shoot headbutts, bro.
Right?
Bro,
I remember
yeah,
that,
they're bringing them back in Japan, bro. Fucking
They're making a
Kazuchika
comeback,
Higuchi,
bro.
Yuji Hino and Higuchi headbutted each other.
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that.
God damn. Miyahara in his most recent title defense did a headbutt,
Yep.
shoot headbutt.
They did twice.
They're headbutting each other in Stardom. I'm like, dude, like, jeez,
No.
has nobody learned from Shibata? Like,
No, bro, they saw Shibata versus Orange Cassidy and say, bro, we can fucking do it. He came back, we can do it. Like, bro, after Miyahara and Aoyaki hit the headbutt on the floor, they started throwing each other into the ring post head first. And I
Yeah.
said, oh man, this is some real hoops right here. And then
What if we-
then Ishii did the same thing, busted himself open in the mouth.
What if we brought back chair shots to the head and we just had the guy taking the shot do the Undertaker Kane thing where they get their hands up last second?
You can still
My
do
other,
that.
my other like favorite, we can't do this, so we'll do a different version, is the thing where we like the guys throw the chairs at each other's heads.
Yeah.
Because like they don't want to upset anyone by swinging it, so they just fucking launch it as hard as they can.
They just
Like, all
fucking
right, man.
right in their face. Remember Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, much safer, fellas. Good job.
Yeah, Matt Hardy, he's
Yo, Sammy was terrorizing that man all summer, bro.
If you
Did it kill
remember,
him?
I think John Moxley threw I think it was Hangman. Hangman threw a shoot headbutt during his match with Moxley.
No, everybody's doing
That's
headbutts again. It's like, what are we doing
the
here?
back in. I don't know how or why this happened, but the back in, Dave Meltzer's somewhere throwing up,
Nigel
Yes.
McGinnis is coming back. That's why.
WrestlePurists Fabrizio Romano,
this is
$5.
like this.
Breaking WrestlePurists under investigation for breach of financial fair podcasting regulations, citing a failure to pay guest hosts adequately. Inside, inside joke for the football fans. Wouldn't want to be a Man City fan right now,
I'm going to say this. They said when God came back, the heavens would open up. They said when Nigel comes back, the headbutts will come back. There you go.
Mamsan 84 199. Tanaka wrestling despite 1,000 chair shots. Well, some people are just built different,
He's amazing, man. Like the way some guy, it never ceases to amaze me. And this is not a big chair shot to the head guy, but every time you guys know how often I go back and watch old WCW, and it's like every single time you see Sting, it's impossible not to think, how the fuck is this still a thing that happens on TV? Like Sting still wrestles on TBS sometimes. Sting's like physical prime was like 33 years ago. And that's not like an exaggeration. When did he tear his knee? 1990, right? 33 years ago. He's still fucking doing it. It blows my mind. The other day he was wrestling. The Great Muta was in the crowd on a WCW show I was watching. It's like fucking some guys are just forever. It's outrageous. But
sometimes
it doesn't make sense that he's over 60.
Someone should just, I do kind of get what you'd be saying. You gotta respect Cody for trying to bring the chairs back. Try to make a gimmick chair, then they just used it the wrong way around, and it caught him on the edge. It caught him like on the edge, and it was a messy situation. But there's times where you could just think chair shots to the head could have been used there. Like Roman Reigns, like smashed Sami Zayn with like 10 chair shots at Royal Rumble. Imagine if you could have just fucking annihilated.
No, I will say though that sometimes that does work well because you can swing it slightly more wildly. So it had that effect of being like this sort of relentless attack, like De Niro in Goodfellas. You know what I mean? Not that he used a steel chair, but you understand what I'm saying nonetheless. And it allowed Paul Lee to do that incredible fucking sell where he was like looking away on every swing. So you can be silly. You can make some stylistic choices. It can work out, but ultimately, I think the main reason I would avoid chair shots to the head and this is definitely the worst thing I've said on one of these podcasts, even in this show, but still. Honestly, the main reason is crowds don't like it anymore, bro. They find it uncomfortable. That's the honest truth. Like, we're talking about the safety element of it, but because it's such a widespread talking point, I've
Depends
seen it
where you are, bro.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure you guys have seen it happen with the chair shot to the head and the crowd like kind of goes mute because they're sort of like thrown off by it. It's jarring for people now. And in a lot of ways, I think that's the main reason guys avoid it because they know that's the perception. And why try and fight that if you don't have to take a chair shot to the head? Don't take one, you know. But I don't know. Maybe it'll come back like the headbutt. We'll see.
Yeah, so headbutts is back in. That's what we are. That's what we're going. What do we think the finish is to the Sami Zayn versus Roman match at Elimination Chamber?
Jay turning, right? I mean, I know Alvarez said it and it got like clipped, but everyone has predicted this for months. Jey Uso's going to turn, right? It feels like the obvious outcome to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Some type of screw jab-ish type of thing, and then I'm sure Kevin Owens will resurface at the end of the show.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that the match is going to be super heated, and it has no reason not to be one of the best Roman Reigns matches of this run. Just purely off the heat and the, I think that there's a chance that this match remember how Orange Cassidy had that match with Pac in Revolution 2020, and there was like this awesome novelty of like seeing him just doing cool moves because we didn't see him wrestling in AEW yet. I think there's going to be a similar thing with this in the sense that if Sami shaves his head, right, and he busts out a bunch of offense that he hasn't done literally in like 6 years, I could see a similar situation where he brings back the rope walk, tornado DDT, or like the Manami roll if he still even physically do that. I don't even know, but I could see something similar. So the match should be really, really good. The finish, Roman's winning. How exactly, I don't know. Probably in a way that transfers the heat to Jey Uso, and like everybody's predicted, KO is going to show up. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this show as a whole, I think this is going to be a much better wrestling show than the Royal Rumble because you have a chamber match, you have the Roman match in there. Gunther, if everything goes as planned, should be defending his title on the show. So just off those things alone, it should be better.
I'm excited. I mean, this feels like it has all the ingredients to be like a legitimately magical match, right? This feels like one of those ones where the atmosphere will assist this in a way that makes it special. You know, I have no doubt about what either guy can do necessarily, but what I'm getting at is that there's a certain atmosphere this can achieve that will, you know, it will change what this match could be and its ceiling. It transforms it because there's so much emotion and going in and investment, and I'm excited for it. I keep kind of asking people about this because I don't know if I'm missing something, but unless I'm mistaken, the New Japan show is on the same night, right? With Mercedes versus Kyrie, right? That's this happening? Unless I'm mistaken. Am I correct on this?
I'll be able to tell you in.
All right. This is something that intrigues me because.
Yes.
Okay. Now, from what I understand, folks, this show will start around 2 hours into the chamber. So the first hour of it will probably be opposite Sami and Roman. And I know this isn't what we're supposed to be talking about, but I need to talk about it quickly. Can we discuss the idea that they have paid Mercedes Moné this amount of money? She moved certain metrics for them for her debut. She got new subscribers to New Japan World. And not only is her first match not on that subscription service they just got people to subscribe to, it is happening on the same night of this fucking match. Now, let me be clear.
It really?
Nothing I'm saying here is a criticism of Mercedes herself. What I'm getting at is,
okay,
man, it feels like they could do a better job of maximizing this asset they just paid for, right?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And to be fair, it's also like, depending on who you ask, it's probably the third best match if you ask, because then obviously Okada's gonna have whatever Okada's gonna wrestle, and then obviously you have Jay White and Eddie Kingston, where a lot of people are excited about and they've been waiting for.
No, fuck all that. The draw of this show is Sasha's first match in New Japan. I don't care what else.
It's like,
I don't care how good the other guys are. My thing is, I'm with you, Joe. Like, I didn't even think about none of that hit me. I didn't even know any of what you just said. Like, that's on the same time as Chamber. That's kind of, if you're just trying to get people to watch and check it out and stuff, especially you think, convincing the former Sasha Banks fans who are WWE fans. Like, why would you do it coinciding with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn happening, which is like the biggest WWE match, from a build and interest standpoint that they've had in a long time.
The counterpoint I've seen is, well, the match will probably happen after the Chamber's ended, but the point is that most people that watch the Chamber will not feel the need to pay $20 to watch another 3 hours.
Exactly.
It's just, I bring this up again, not to understate Mercedes as a star, because I think she's proven what she can do in that regard. What I'm getting at is some of these unforced errors that New Japan commit on the US side of things are just mind-boggling to me. It's like it wasn't this didn't feel this complicated to me. I know that's easy for me to say sitting on a podcast. What I'm getting at is you just got all these new subscribers. Firstly, the match should be accessible the next month on that service so that you keep them for February.
Immediately.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing, which has been a problem with the US pay-per-views for the longest. But like the idea that you're going to put against this match, this isn't just any. I mean, they're a bit unlucky because this is not the usual elimination chamber. This is a fucking red hot match. But let's be fair, we all knew this was going to be the match at Chamber. This has been a thing we all expected for a long time now. It's Montreal. It was obvious this was going. So I know we were talking about Sami and Roman, so I apologize. One, I just find it to be staggering that you would make the investment they made into a talent of that star power, and this is be your first chance to have a wrestle would be on this occasion against that competition. I think it's insane.
And you know what?
It's not an edgy take or anything. It's just it's not when you put that sort of investment into a talent like Sasha, you want to get every last bit out of her.
Yeah.
So it's like when you go head to head, with a WWE pay per view, it's not ideal, and you want it to be as ideal as possible because, like I just said, it's put out a lot of money for her, man. So,
guys, think about this also. So, even if you say the battle and the value won't start until after Elimination Chamber is over, even if that's the case timing wise, right? NXT simply having the Worlds Collide show in the morning of All Out affected the pay-per-view buys of All Out. You know, because like for a lot of wrestling fans, if they watch one big show, like they've gotten their fill. You know, and one of them is going to be on Peacock for $4, and the other one's going to be what, $50? I'm not sure. So I don't get that. Plus, the other thing is, you know that the show's going to end with some big, huge angle that's going to get people talking, the Fed show, right? And we saw how the Bloodline angle at the Rumble, right? That took up like the majority of wrestling conversation on social media for about 2 days, right? Now, do you want a situation where it's like on wrestling Twitter? I mean, I know discourse isn't the most important thing, but just in terms of buzz and like attention and talking about things, right? Do you want a situation where people are like, oh my God, KO and Sami reunited, and that's all Twitter's talking about while Mercedes is having her first match?
And
you know,
you're already kind of flying uphill because the way that just inherently the way that the promotion works, you can't, Mercedes kind of visibility is going to obviously decline because you don't have a weekly output in that regard, right? So you're already kind of working against it in that regard because the wrestling news cycle works so quick now that it already feels like a lifetime ago she debuted. So you're already having to ramp up promotion to remind people. And I know there'll be some people that hear this and say, who cares? The people that want to watch her will watch her. But to me, when you're talking about a star who has main evented WrestleMania, surely you want to get some of those WWE fans that have never, tasted, never give you a chance to give a chance to your product. And surely you want to get some of that crossover. Because otherwise, why do it otherwise? You're ultimately, I'm definitely a guy who is happy to talk about the artistic element of wrestling, but when you're paying for a talent like this, I'm assuming you want to do some big business on pay-per-view or whatever it is.
Joe, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just got it. I got the Raw plans. I just want to say that Monty, Paul Heyman, and Cody Rhodes are having a promo segment tonight.
Oh my God. Real graps, folks, coming up. Look at Monty.
Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes.
Rubbing the hands together again.
All right.
Let's go. Joe, I kid you not, when I looked at the list, right, my eyes literally were glazed for anything that wasn't Cody. If it was like a movie scene and you saw like my POV eye view, every word was blurry except Cody. And I was looking for what his name was on the thing, and it said Cody, and then it said Paul Heyman scheduled to interrupt Cody. I was like, let's go.
Let's give you something, bro. Let's give you something.
You're making an amazing point right now about Mercedes, though. Look, wrestling, unfortunately, the news moves a mile a minute. We move on to the next thing. And so, I'm not going to entertain anyone who goes, "Oh, Mercedes buzz is dying," and I mean that's bullshit. But like you said, when she is available and doing stuff, like you want to maximize that, and to have that compete with like Sami and Roman is just I don't really get it, and it's kind of unfortunate because I want her debut in New Japan to be the talk of the town. I want it to be the most important thing on that day.
Yeah, it should be an event, right? It really should.
Showtime Spurs $2. Not Monty doing the Birdman hand rub. certain things, bro. Yeah, you just got to pump.
Did you see Tony D's main event match, Monty? Did you watch it?
Listen. gonna get to it. Anyway,
Did he actually?
NXT. Let's talk. NXT Vengeance Day happened on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a show that definitely happened. You know. Someone get us started on this show. You know, I don't want to spend too. I don't want to spend too long on it.
All right. I'll say this. So, NXT, they went out of the Performance Center, drew about 5.5K tickets in North Carolina.
That's good.
Drew about 5.5K tickets in North Carolina, and they put on a 6-match card in North Carolina. And personally speaking, I wasn't particularly interested in this show going in because the title matches didn't look like they were going to be good. And so I remember I was telling Monty this because he was talking about how he wasn't excited for it when we were talking about it. And I said, like, for me, the value in watching this, if I do check it out, is to evaluate where the brand is right now in terms of recognition and how over or not over the people are. Because I really have no benchmark for where NXT is right now. Because, you know, before it was like NXT was the hardcore fans show, and you knew that was their base. Right. And now you have a situation where NXT people don't even get reactions at the Rumble. So it's like I had no clue. So for me, the value in watching the show was evaluating that and seeing how that was. And so what I would say about Vengeance Day was it had a very good opener. And then pretty much the rest of the show was like so at best. It was just so at best. The fans were very into the show from what I was seeing. But you know, Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo Crews, and Monty could probably get on this. It had a 2 out of 3 falls format that makes some sense in storyline sense, but from a practicality standpoint in wrestling, it just didn't need to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. And they did this thing, Joe. I don't know if you heard. They had Melo win the second fall, and so the match ended in a sweep. And like that's different, but because fans are conditioned to like expect the second fall to be a tie, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lull. There was a lull in the crowd because they're just waiting for Apollo to tie it so that they can get up for the third fall. And then they just ended it in the second fall, and fans were just like, "Wait, what?" So, yeah, Melo, you know, he expressed that he wasn't particularly a fan of the match, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Gallus ended the New Day's title reign, which sent Monty over the edge, and you know, I don't have a strong opinion on Gallus, but I would say that I would prefer like a young team with a lot of upside to beat the New Day for the tag titles, not Gallus. Monty's face. My preference was Blade and Inoue at the LA show, but it's not what they did. Roxanne won a 3-way with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. I caught the end of this match. There was a table bump from Gigi, and then she super pop rocks the other one for the victory. Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller had a average cage match that Braun Breaker won, and the show ended with a Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker stare down. I think the big talk of the show was the Wesley match in the opener with Dijak. I thought it overachieved. I thought Wesley looked really good. He did a lot of cool stuff. He did a Sasuke special. He countered a top rope powerbomb into a Spike Frankensteiner, which is a 6'5".
Look what you're doing to money, bro.
What? I'm letting you charge up.
Spot boy spot and shit, bro. Like, come on.
Oh. Anyways, NXT Vengeance Day, I thought it had a good opener, and the rest was just kind of a show. So
I'm gonna read a text from Monty now. Monty, I'm gonna use this to set the stage for you. Right?
Joe, he was.
I very seldom will do this, but I think this is going to nicely set the stage for Monty's what Monty's going to say. I asked, as a friend, I didn't watch the show. I said, "How was the show overall?" My good friend Monty, how was it? And he said, "I went from quote Sean's kind of shitty as a booker to quote." Oh my God, this brother stinks. All I needed to know Monty's take. And now I send you over to our leader here, fearless leader.
He was
what you got, mate?
No, but this is the thing, bro. Like, who's this for at the moment? Like, who's trying to see any of this, bro? It's like the text message said. I went into this. Bro, I went into this thinking, like Sean, it's it's a new game to him. He's kind of shitty as a booker, but it's like it's forgivable and it's Shawn Michaels. Like you want to like him, you want him to be good. You know what I mean? It's Shawn. But bro, this show went into it. You go into this show and it's like I'm just looking at the cards. Like nothing on these cards jumping out to me like at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the show starts. It's like Wesley and Doja. They have a good opener. And then, bro, it's just. It's like even Wesley, bro. It's like I like Wesley.
Oh,
I
no.
loved him in MSK as well. But it's just like, what are we doing this rain for, man? And it's like even how we got there, like Wesley, bro. When he first split up with Nash Carter, I was going over this earlier. He was presented like an absolute geek, like immediately after Nash Carter left. You know what I mean? They beat the shit out of him. He was doing this to like Zion Quinn. He was losing to Trick Williams. He was losing to Sanga. Like he was just a geek, bro. And then all of a sudden he gets a title push, and it's just like, okay, he's got the title now, and it's just I just like, what's the end game? Anyway, no, fair play to him. He's nice. So he had a really good match. He had the only good highlight of this show. So him and Dijak, good start, whatever. But it's just like, who's this for, bro? Then you get to the women's tag title match.
People like Wesley.
You get to the women's tag title match, bro. This is where it just highlights just this point onwards, bro. You got Fallon Henley and Kiana James challenging Katana Chance and Kaden Carter for the women's tag titles. Yeah, it's Fallon Henley's and Kiana James' second match together. I think. Yeah, they won the match. I don't know who was trying to see that. I don't know what they're cooking. This is what I mean.
Are you unaware of the storyline there with those two?
I know what the storyline is between those two, but they've literally been tag team for like 2 minutes, bro. And it's just like Katana Chance and Kaden Carter have been, they're actually like a tag team, like the only one in the whole division.
They must be getting called up, right? They must be.
They are. Yes, they are.
They have.
So, don't know who's trying to say that. And you've got a best 2 out of 3 falls match between Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews that the crowd just died for because no one's trying to see a 2 out of 3 falls Apollo Crews match. Like no one. I like Apollo Crews. I think he's a good worker, but like in terms of like people who want to see have a 2 out of 3 falls match, Apollo Crews is very, very low on that list. It's like the Apollo that feud as well. So it's the third match of a feud that no one was begging for the second match. Never mind the third match, but you then make 2 out of 3 falls, bro. And he just dies in front of the crowd, and people are itching their heads like, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't have booked this." Like, nah, no shit, bro. Like, no one's trying to see that shit, bro. Who's it for?
Bro, Mello was saying like, yeah, bro. I don't know what's going on there, man.
23 minutes, bro. Come on.
Come on. Wait, so, hold on, Joe. So you haven't seen this, right?
No.
So here's what makes this funny, right? It's so weird. I watched Mello and Cruz knowing what Monty thought of it, right? And I'm like, they can work. This can't be that bad. And I'm watching, right? And I'm like, this is professional work, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting there and like they're grappling and then they're exchanging holds. And I'm like, all right, okay. So this is going like 38 minutes or something, right? And they're exchanging holds. And then Mello gets he gets an easy first fall. I'm like, all right, that's a good first fall in a 3-fall match. All right, that's you know what I mean. There's an escalation of these things, right?
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, fall number 2, right? And then like they slow down a little bit. Cruz has a comeback where he's doing German suplexes and stuff. I'm like, this is professional work. They're doing professional
work, little match. No one was trying to see it, bro. So
here's the thing, Joe. Now we're 20 minutes deep, right? Fall 2 hasn't happened. I'm like, all right, let's get on with this now. You know what I mean? Let's get on with this. And then abrupt finish, Mello wins with like the fadeaway leg drop. I was like, oh shit, what? And like the fans are just like, wait, what? And they never got to, WWE fans, they're conditioned to like pop like the near falls and finishers, right? We didn't do that. We just went to a second fall, and like Melo's walking off, like what the fuck, man? Like,
It's just like I said, but from a booking point of view, bro, like I said, it's just no. Who is this for? Like, I just don't. What does Carmelo Hayes even get out of this as well? Like, it's just. It's like someone said, I can't. Apollo Crews slanders crazy. Not gonna lie. It's like, bro, like I said, he's not so wrestler. You know what I mean? He's a good worker, but it's just
good worker.
In terms of interest, bro. It's just that's like, why are we booking this? You know. Okay, so what we got next? Oh fuck, you know.
Bellator. We watched.
Wait. But
I had that on split screen, man.
Before Monty recaps this, Joe, I want to say something new that makes this. Here's why this is so funny from my perspective, right? You know, NXT being a 10th seeded basketball team is like not new information for me, right? That's number one. Number two, like if you see what the pundits have said about this show, they're all relatively like just fine. They're like, yeah, it was all right. I just watched Brian Alvarez go like, yeah, I like the show, right? Dave was like, yeah, it was all right. And so that makes it even funnier that like Monty is the universal low man on this pay-per-view. Like he really
it's because he believes
people come to this channel for real analysis, bro. You know, real opinions. I'm not coach opinion this shit. If I've got an opinion, like, I didn't. If anyone noticed at the start of the show when everyone was talking New Japan, I haven't caught up with that, so I was silent for like 10 minutes.
Right.
I got no opinion on it. I'm not gonna coach through and be like, yeah, Will Ospreay's great. Like, yeah, he is great. But, like, I didn't see the match, bro. You know.
I wanted to wait, Joe, but here's the thing. So, what kills me about Monty, right? So, not only is he the low man, what actually caused him to mentally crack on this show, because he was just kind of sitting there and was like, yeah. And then it's Gallus of all things that NXT has done in the last like year and a half. Gallus just winning the title.
It's just the accumulation of the show, bro. When you go into a show, booking, like I said, booking wise. Going to the show, I'm not interested in anything on the card. I'm just watching. Like, I didn't even like. Fuck, you just have it on. You know what I mean? If you see a few people on the timeline talking about it, you're like, you know, fuck it, I ain't doing anything else on a Saturday night. You know, I've got a little time off work and shit, so you know, watch a bit of wrestling. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like, why? It's like saying the women's tag title thing was just like, what the fuck? Then I'm watching Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews having a feeling out process in a fucking 2 out of 3 falls match. And I'm just like, who wants to see these, you know? Then, like I said, we get to where we're at now. NXT tag team title match. It's like you see the graphic flash up and you're like, oh yeah, this is probably New Day's last match in NXT on this current run where they've got the tag titles and stuff. But, you know, you'd want to give them like a good match, you know, like Creed Brothers or some shit, you know what I mean? Like something like good, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, they put these fuckers with fucking Pretty Deadly, Chase U, and Gallus, and put the belts on Gallus, bro. Like, who was trying to see that match? Who was trying to see that result? Like, I just like, who is this for, bro? Like, I just don't get it anymore. I don't get it anymore. It's done, bro.
You know what else is funny about this, Joe? When like Monty watches a bad show, he's just kind of like, yeah, it was bad. Like this is making him like crack, you know? Like it's
because it's pay-per-view, bro. Like, you know, you get 5,000 people outside of NXT territory. You know what I mean? You want to show what you can do. You know what I mean?
Monty, this was worse than Halloween Havoc to you.
Halloween Havoc. It's
it was the one with the triple threat main event, right?
Yeah, I'll have to go. I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look. You know, but let's finish this. You know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Gallus. No one. It's not even like, oh, it's good heat. It's like, bro, no one's again. Just no one's trying to see that, bro. Like, Sean, like you need help. You know. NXT Women's Title match: Roxanne Perez versus Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jayne. I mean, like, this wasn't like outrageously offensive. It's just like you've got Roxanne Perez, who's like literally a prodigy. Like literally, like I'm not even being like, I don't even think I'm doing like over the top shit that we do a lot on these podcasts. But you know, you want to work in with, like, we've seen her work matches like with Rhea Ripley. She had a great match with her on NXT TV. She had a great match with Saraya on NXT TV. You know, like, you can get her in there with some real hoopers. You just got to work in with like the scraps of Toxic Attraction. no one really believes that Roxanne Perez is going to lose the match. You know, it's just like I just don't. What are we doing, bro? Like we got a prodigy, we got a prodigy, and we got a wrestling.
You got Tiffany Stratton in the back. We're doing a watch along.
Yeah,
Come on,
you got
put her on the
Tiffany
show.
Stratton cutting promos.
Yeah, I watched the Instagram reel.
On the show. Tiffany's right there, like you know. Anyway, listen, this steel cage match in the main event. Listen, bro, I like Bran. You know, I've been on Ibu's side defending him in many of group chat debates and arguments and wars. But like, listen, bro,
But it's a steel cage match with Grayson Waller.
Getting worried, you know.
No. I'm not there. I'm not there.
After the show as well, he cuts this
This
promo.
is the funniest bit.
Bro, listen.
It wasn't that bad. The promo was not that bad.
This is the funniest. Hold on. This is the funniest shit you've ever done. Go on.
That promo is one of the worst promos I think I've ever seen. It's just like
not true, bro. Play it right now. Are we allowed to play it? Are we allowed to play it on the screen?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh man,
he takes me this with fucking Bron is fucked. I clicked on it.
Okay, Joe, you tell me, right? So you know what I told Monty? I said this just sounds like every like athlete in a locker room post game interview where they're just kind of out of breath and talking, rather than like a promo. And so I was like, it's just he's just out of breath talking, like it's whatever.
You know, his words, boys. He's all like, there's just no base to it, bro. He's the champ. Like what?
He wasn't cutting a promo. That's the thing.
He just won a cage. No, but it doesn't matter. Like I know what these WWE exclusives. I know how to go.
Bro, it wasn't a promo, bro. Man was out of breath. They're like, hey man, what was it like to be out there? And he's like, oh man, you know, NXT, man, I'm happy, you know. Like,
and he's like, he's just like, yeah, Carmelo, you know.
Yeah, Carmelo.
See you out there, bro. Like,
did you want him to be like, Carmelo Hayes, I'm gonna beat your ass?
Just stop, man. You know, like those backstage exclusives, just like you said, they're a lot more grounded, you know, and they're a lot more just just grounded and authentic, just kind of like, you know, just organic. Bro, that was just like it was just so like it was just flaccid, you know. It was just you know what? It was pathetic. That's what it was. It was pathetic. And I like Bran a lot, bro. Like,
the idea of you watching this show, hating this show, and seeing on your timeline exclusive post-match comments from Bron and being like, this is going to decide it now. Is he finished or not? Clicking that video. Those videos are hardly ever good, man. Come on. It's
to be honest,
the vibe, man. Just limp. Just.
Okay, so you know what I would say? The reason why I'm like, look, Bron Breakker is absolutely limping to the finish line of his title reign because he's overstayed his welcome in the Performance Center, right? The reason why I'm not worried is because there's only like a month left of it. And regarding this NXT show as a whole, the reason why I'm not as like passionately angry like Monty is because I'd be with him if like these fans, if they drew 2,000 people and nobody knew who the fuck anybody was and nothing got a reaction, I'd be like, yo, they're cooked, right? But what I did learn watching the show was that there are people out there that like this version of NXT, regardless of what you say or anything. What's up?
Just go on. I said the Ranger.
This outdrew every single Tony Khan Ring of Honor pay-per-view. These fans knew who every major character was, even people who did run-ins. They chanted for fucking Aziz when he ran out there. Tony D'Angelo showed up and he got a Tony D chant. You know, like literally every major character on the show had a reaction. And so to me as a viewer, right, like I didn't care for the show at all. But when I watched it, I was like, okay, so there are people that like this version of NXT. Mm-hmm. So on that alone, they're not cooked or fucked. Is Shawn Michaels a good booker? No, he's not. Frankly, if I was like Hunter, I'd like hire somebody else in that position.
Needs help, bro. Needs guide.
Yeah, Shawn shouldn't book. I think Shawn should like stick to agenting matches. To be honest with you, I don't think he's a particularly sound creative mind that I would trust with running my developmental.
Producer and coach Shawn, bro.
Yeah. Let him just be he was a producer and coach when Hunter was there, you know, and that accentuated what he's good at. booking TV and booking pay-per-views is not his thing.
Okay, bro. Get him down there.
Case Polsky.
Okay. The point
Right.
is, it's not that this version of NXT is like the problem. It's just the booking, bro. Like it's not the version of NXT. It's just the booking itself. And it's just you got Bron Breakker. He's overstayed his welcome like times 10 at this point. He's getting Cena reactions in the PC. Granted, in Carolinas where they were the other days, it's different. But it's just this is just it's too long. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Even if it's like, even if there's not a spot for him on the main roster right now, and they're just waiting for the perfect time, so get the belt off him, bro. Give him a little break or something. Like, do something, bro. Because right now you're killing the kid.
Yeah, I listen. The only reason why I'm not panicking for Braun is because he's going to be in the hands of William Regal in a month. And it's like they can't kill him in a month, can they?
Oh yeah, here we go. Another main event pop.
Oh my
No,
god.
boy.
Okay, that's a real pop.
Oh, here we go, Joe.
The OC versus
No.
Monty's gonna watch that.
Hold on a second. That's not. You can't ask Gallows to bump for that. Those fuckers gonna kill him.
You know what I watched last week, Monty? They had Damon Kemp on the main event to wrestle Shelton Benjamin.
They did.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, just seeing these kids outside of the PC and in like the main roster setting, being produced by like actual pros, it does feel different. I'm watching Kemp in there with Shelton. I'm like, hey.
I feel like we need to be careful. This is dangerous territory. I mean, the big LG going in with the Creeds is uncharted.
Julius is 100% going to do. Right, depends how long they get, but if it's like a showcase kind of thing, then Julius is 100% going to do some sort of like power spot on fucking.
It would be fucking hilarious.
Monty,
they just give him nothing. The OC just give him nothing at all. Just take him up, hit a finish.
We'll give you about a minute of shine, brother. Monty, it's funny. No one talked about it or clipped it because wrestling Twitter doesn't really watch NXT. But when I was skimming through last week's show, Julius Creed, no, not the big one, Brutus Creed, suplexed Veer on his head. Like he literally he gave him like like the Taz cradle suplex, and his neck, like his head, literally bent on the fucking mat. I was just like, yo.
Super chat. Wrestling Media is Ztopia Productions $4.99. Appreciate you as always. Wrestling Media is dying for Cody to be booed if it appears. Lol. Hanger/Crew. What's your favorite match of the 80s and 90s minus Austin and Brett?
Who wants to go first there?
No, Austin Brett's a good start.
80s, for me, my favorite match of the 80s is Funk and Flair. Funk and Flair from the Bash 89.
Match is awesome.
The I Quit match is more iconic from Clash, but I just loved that first match. 90s, that's really interesting. 90s, I'm thinking Brett and Owen. I think.
Yo, Joe, that Great American Bash '89 show was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Incredible. That's part of why I love that. And also the post-match angle on that Funk Flair match is fucking extraordinary, man.
With Muda getting involved and then like Sting running it. It's real wrestling. Yeah. Dude, freaking Lex Luger and Ricky Steamboat have a banger on the show. It's so good.
Absolutely.
To answer this question, my favorite match of the 80s is Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair at Chi-Town Rumble 1989. I think that match is tremendous.
Absolutely.
I don't think anything's better except I don't think anything's better. My number 2 would probably be like Tenryu and Jimbo.
Wait, hold on. Sorry to cut you off. Wait, you were talking about the OC and the Creed brothers? Like, you want that match to happen?
No, it's happening. It's actively being taped.
I was about to say, you guys said that, and then I looked, and then somebody on Twitter saying that's happening on main event. I said, oh, damn, what the heck? What the coincidence?
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to review that match.
That's on main event. And then I was going to say Tenryu Jumbo is another good shout from All Japan from '89 for the Triple Crown. Favorite match of the 90s. If I can't say Brett versus Austin, that's kind of tough because that's my literal favorite match of the 90s.
Yeah, the first Brett and Austin match too. That'd be my top 5 too. The Survivor Series.
The 90s, the Survivor Series one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
God, I don't know what is my favorite match of the 90s, but I take that out. Maybe Kobashi versus Steve Williams in '94. Their 93 match is more famous because he gives them 3 straight backdrop drivers that he pops up from. But their 94 match, they go like 40 minutes and they literally just like try to kill each other. It's pretty amazing.
Beautiful. Real graps. Monty, what are you thinking, mate? By the way, while Monty thinks, it is worth noting that both Ibu and I both had Flair 89 matches, and there's more that you could pick from.
I was
too.
gonna say. I said Steamboat Flair because I thought that's what we was all gonna unanimously go with for the 80s. When you drop Funk, and it's like that makes complete sense as well. So that kind of took my, what's that? Ibu
Flair
all
has so
related.
much great stuff, man. Flair's matches with Wyndham are fucking awesome too in the 80s. Beautiful matches.
Bro, he's a monster. And if I can't pick those, I could go with like a bunch of Tiger Mask matches from the early 80s. So
Savage Steamboat.
That's a great match.
No, Savage Warrior.
Oh man.
That is incredible.
Where he does like 7 straight elbow drops.
Yeah, that is incredible.
The 90s, I struggle on the 90s, because there's a lot, and it's like you could just go like the All Japan route, like I don't know, man. I'm stumped, to be honest. Manu, what's your favorite match from the 80s and 90s?
I don't have one of the 80s. And then if I go the 90s, I'm going El Santo, El Dandy, and Negro Casas. Hair versus mask match, 2 out of 3 falls. CMLL, 1998.
Peace.
I've never seen that. I should probably check that out.
Could you hate Lucha Libre, bro? We all know this.
No. I'm actually very well versed in 90s Lucha.
Yeah.
I am.
Anyway. Yeah.
That was a really fun question.
It was. I'm going to make a thread on Latin Lover tonight, actually.
Tremendous.
Yeah, man. Raw starts pretty soon. You got Becky and Bayley in the steel cage match, which obviously, got moved from the other week, and that was a whole thing. And apparently Lita's backstage and might be involved in it somehow. Interesting. Yeah, man. We got a few Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. Men and women. Yeah, you got Dawkins versus Priest and Montez versus Elias. You got the fatal 4-way between Carmella, Mia Yim, Candice, and Piper Niven. Edge and Beth might probably be there. Lesnar could be there. Who else could be there?
Uncle Howdy.
He will not be there.
Maybe.
God damn it.
He will not.
He might be. But let's obviously that's about to start. But we got 5 minutes. We got Hooper of the Week, man.
Yeah,
we do. We do. All right, build up some hype. Here we go.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I forgot to make one until like 5 minutes until we started the show.
Fair.
And I've been busy writing, and I don't know who the wrestler of the week is, but this guy, he had a match in All Japan, because All Japan is coming back. Now it's gonna be number 1 soon. Eventually, we'll sell out the Tokyo Dome, but for now, we'll sell out Korakuen for now.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, the Hooper of the Week is Kento Miyahara.
Beautiful.
Look at Slifer.
The Late Night Grin is currently in negotiations with All Japan to be their official lead bootlickers, brand supporters. We're working on a deal. Manny's the kind of leader of that movement. It's a thing that's happening. Manny and I just regularly getting excited about Kento matches and not watching anything else. It's an emerging trend. So
All Japan, hit me up. I have ideas for a tracksuit, man.
There you go.
I won't say it on the air.
Manny should be their graphic designer, But we've got a super chat that we should try get through before the end. Favorite barbed wire match? What we thinking?
Oh man,
that's not really my domain. I don't know. I'm not sure what my answer will be for that.
Oh man,
probably Terry Funk and Cactus Jack.
Funk, Cactus Jack, King of the Death Match, or whatever it was.
IWA. God damn, I'm not sure. Is this like barbed wire, like as a stick, or like just a match that has barbed wire in it? You know,
there's
what I mean?
A big difference, right?
Big difference. Yeah.
Megan Moxley,
I still think the Funk Onita exploding barbed wire death match is better than the Moxley Omega one.
Yeah, it's such a hard comparison because of how beautiful the final note of one is, and
Mhm,
the exact
mhm,
attempted replica and how poorly things went through no fault of the performers. Yeah,
mhm,
I get that.
mhm.
I get that definitely.
What did you exploding barbed wire matches count?
Yeah.
I
I'd
think
imagine
I think
so.
they kind of have to because otherwise you're limiting the pool even more.
Yo,
I
freaking.
think
Go ahead.
hmm?
No, go
I
ahead,
think
man.
it was Hayabusa versus the Great Sasuke too is also a good one.
That's a good. But any other barbed wire matches coming to us? Yeah, man, it's a niche, you know. Ben Dixon,
Mhm.
$2. Keep Bob away from all Japan. No more promotion murders. Yeah, bro,
Yes.
it's what he does, you know.
Whoa,
Gotta
Dutch
keep
Montana
him
and Jerry
away.
Lawler had one. Let me look that up.
But yeah, man, let's get out of here. Gonna plug a few things real quick. Weekly Joshy guide that dropped earlier. Match ratings didn't drop today. We're gonna drop those tomorrow with the rest of the week and our matches of the week. What else have we got? Dumb Guy Live tomorrow is going to go over New Japan like we did earlier, but in more detail. Stardom's first show back with cheering fans. What the fuck? Yeah, man. Good shit coming. Manny, he's got something, a weekly thing we're going to try working on. You got anything you want to plug though, bro?
Yeah, besides that weekly thing, I'm gonna do and watch a lot more wrestling. I have the Grin Along with Joe on Wednesdays. Besides that, no man, I'm just straight chilling for now.
Joe, anything you want to plug real quick?
I actually do, mate. Yes, tomorrow we're doing Grim Grappler, which is a monthly show. We look at an individual wrestler, and tomorrow we are doing our first tag team, which is the Briscoes. We were gonna, this was a show that we had booked beforehand, and obviously it's very very different context now. But it's gonna be a special show. I think we all have many memories. I mean, I've had a chance to luckily kind of share mine, but I know the lads are excited to do the same. So, Grin Grappler, the Briscoes is 8 Eastern tomorrow on twitch.tv/late night grin. That's an actual plug I did there, Monty. So that's how much it means to me, man. Briscoes forever, right? So
Yeah,
that's
man.
what we're doing tomorrow.
Ibu, plugs.
Follow me at Backup Hangman. I'm gonna continue to try to get some things in motion behind the scenes to bring some new projects for you guys, including some stuff that I haven't even proposed to Mr. Montel here. But I'm very excited for the future of WrestlePurists, and
I'm
I
going to
hope you guys
shoot it all down. Don't worry. Yeah.
look forward to
Wait, whoa! We didn't even
continued-
talk about the MLW thing.
Yeah, we'll do it another day.
Owned.
This man,
Yeah.
this man, Benny.
We'll do it another day.
Yeah, man. Have you guys watched? You know what I mean? Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you for watching these shows and all that good stuff. Notice how Monty rushes us off the air faster now that Cody Rhodes is back on.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed that? Have you
Oh, I've
noticed this?
noticed.
Right?
Bro, the drop, bro. I see the drop. I always see the drop off as well. So it's just like, is that it happened on what day was it really bad, bro? I
Raw
can't
30? It
remember.
was Raw 30, I think.
Yeah, I think it might have been Raw 30.
Raw 30. We lost
It
like
might have been
60.
like it might have been like an unpurist episode or something. But bro, there's no point trying to fight it, bro. Gotta get out of here at 1 a.m.
Free my boys
Bro.
are Mez and Artemis. Free them.
Yeah.
Free
Free
them.
'em.
They don't
I'm
deserve to
praying
be
for
in their
Cole
contract.
Anderson.
Free the luchas, We want
Pray
to see
for
them
Cole
thriving.
Anderson.
Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes.
All that shit. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate all the super chats as usual, and we'll be back tomorrow with Dumb Guy Live. Peace.